What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to some more ADHD gaming. Sorry about having to go down a little bit earlier, but had some company come by, had to shut down for a bit and tend to company, but we will get things kicking off here again shortly and hopefully get some mythic dungeons going. Already completed 2, got the Motherlode down and got Underrot down. Also need to try to get attuned for Siege of Borealis, since apparently you need attunement for that one. Display 1, yes. Oh shit, sauce. New Azurite power is available. Hopefully dagger in the dark. Oh shit. Replay. Blood ride. There was a dagger in the back, but whatever. Expurgation on the last here, I guess. Oh no, that's the one I took. And then we'll go heed my call. Oh shit, reduced to 40 seconds. Okay. Double charge in 40 seconds. And increasing speed for party by 5 seconds. Yeah, I think Gallant Steve would be dope for raid purposes. Getting rid of this shit. That's cool. That's a little bit cooler of a trait, and I imagine raid armor's gonna have even cooler traits. Even cooler things. Because we love cool things. Who's online? Who's still online? There's nobody online. Who's offline? Being a bunch of slackers.
Shop, browse, smell. May your feet find good trails.
Bunch of trash everywhere. Do it anyway, 'cause world quest game. All the world quests we've done in there. Let's go here. White Road Chapel.
Do you need protection? I serve desire land.
Little ones have taken our scrolls and turned themselves into beasts. We have dispelling scrolls, but you will need to get close enough to use them. Watch out!
What up? I got my my chat blowing up a lot bigger this time, so that I can actually see what's going on with my chat, and I'm not looking at like size 9 font. Wish I had some sort of sound notification that let me know when when a message has come through though. 'Cause I missed a message from someone the other night. They were asking me what faction I played on, Order Alliance, and I was in the middle of a mythic dungeon. Didn't spot it until after I was done with the fight I was on, and by that time I guess the person was already gone because I answered their question, but didn't get another response from them. So kind of wish I had something that gave me like some sort of sound notification when I got a message in chat, so that I could know to look over at it, because it's just not when my eyes are focused on all the crap going on in combat, it's difficult for my eyes to catch a quick chat thing going on my right hand side. But that's actually why I blew up the size of my font, so that hopefully it being bigger font, I can see what's going on better. I'm not sure if there's a way to set that up. I'm gonna have to talk to Keeps about it, because he's done some streaming and stuff too. I'll have to see if there's a way to set it up for sound notification. I couldn't find any way to do it. Or hell, even like a flash, if I could make the window like flash over and over again whenever there's something new going on it. Managed to get into a couple mythics today though. I am now 325 item level equipped, 326 with what crap I've got in my bags. But I managed to pick up this dope ass weapon here, which looks like this, but I've got it transmog for now because it doesn't quite go with what I'm trying to do. But got this dope axe and chest piece and legs, I think, and then a bracers, I believe. Yeah. No, those weren't from today. But I got bracers, the chest, and the weapon, enough to get me up to 325 item level, which will enable me to be able to pug groups for more mythics easier and get my item level up even higher. But ran with the guild on their last couple mythic dungeons that they needed to do, and picked up some pieces in there. Got pretty lucky. And then Damaris gave me one of the pieces, gave me these bracers, because they're not best in slot stats for her, but they're best in slot stats for me. And then if we'll go over here, we'll look at our total damage. And Pato's got, I'm pretty sure Pato's got substantially higher item level than I do. Because I think they've been actually running mythics. That was like my first mythic to run with at all. Like, let alone with them during this expansion. So I kept up pretty good. Had him beat on several times. Warriors are like stupid OP right now. Mythic typically contains more abilities on the boss. Boss has more health. Bosses do more damage. Same thing with the trash mobs. Trash mobs will have more health, do more damage. Sometimes they'll have new abilities. More enemies, different enemies added in, and then you'll get actually mythic pluses. And mythic pluses, they'll add in affixes dependent on what level your mythic plus key is, and you get like an affix. I think every five key levels they add an affix onto it, and which essentially adds an additional challenge. So let's say skittering. Let's just use skittering for an example. It reduces the amount of threat that tanks can generate. So what'll happen is the DPS that pull a lot of DPS will end up pulling threat off the tank. So you end up having to manage your damage more and manage your threat in order to keep from pulling off the tank. And there's other stuff like necrotic where it'll put stacking poison debuff shit on anybody that's hit with a melee attack, and it builds up over time. The only way to get rid of it is to not get hit. So the tank ends up having to kite enemies away from these necrotic enemies at the same time the group's slowing the enemies down, and then you just kind of work it back and forth like that, dropping off the debuff as necessary until you get the enemies down. And then on top of that, like I said, you add in those affixes per 5 key levels, so you end up with 3 different affixes at a top end key level, like a plus 15 key, and it gets quite challenging because you're talking about increased health, increased damage, more enemies. It's a timed event on top of increased challenges that with different things you have to do, but loot reflects that. If you complete these things, you get really good loot. If you complete it within the full time limit, you get 3 treasure chests with chances to have loot in them and different shit. And then dependent on what level of key you have completed for the week, you get a treasure in your Mythic Plus box that's located in your main area, and that contains an automatic piece of loot. You're guaranteed a piece of loot for the level of key that you completed within time limit. Actually, I don't even think it needs to be within time limit for the box. You just have to complete the key. So if you completed a plus 15 key, as long as you complete it, you'll get a plus 15 quality loot from your Mythic Plus chest for that week. But while those dungeons are quite a bit harder, the loot reflects it and makes your character quite a bit stronger. Which is, I don't know if you've heard about Mythic Plus dungeon invitationals and shit like that. There's actually esports competitions and stuff going on for that. And the only reason I don't bother with that crap because I like my add-ons too much. And esports, the Mythic Dungeon Invitationals, they have like one of their strict rules is no add-ons. And I'm like, Deadly Boss mods? F that. I'm out. Not playing around with that crap. And on top of that, it being like competition-wise, that's just stress. That's just stress waiting to happen. Shit's stressful enough as it is getting to use add-ons and it not being really a money competition or trophy competition. Yeah, the Blizzard convention typically has big events and stuff that'll happen at them, and PvP events. This Mythic Dungeon Invitational was only like a recent thing that happened with, I think it was Legion. I want to say it was with Legion. I don't remember it before that. I'm pretty sure it was Legion. And before that, they still had esports, but it was PvP oriented, like arenas, 3v3, 5v5 teams and shit like that. And those have been around for a long time. I don't even remember when those started. Quite a while back, but the PvP aspect of it has been around for a bit. Something I've always wanted to do, and when I heard about these Mythic Dungeon Invitationals, I actually really wanted to do that, and then I looked into the rules and stuff for it, and like I was down with everything until I got to the part about no add-ons, and I'm like, add-ons are life. Yeah, I enjoy the PvP in this game. I don't really enjoy PvP in other games like Call of Duty and stuff like that. I like zombies in Call of Duty. I'm a big zombies fan in like Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare. I love the zombies modes. But the PvP maps and shit like that, not a big fan. I don't like killing other players or having other players kill me. That EPing thing that goes out there. Like, it's irritating. Uh, Add-ons give players an advantage. If you use add-ons properly, which I would like to consider that I use add-ons relatively properly, it can provide a pretty serious advantage to yourself. So if you're running against a team that doesn't use add-ons and you've got add-ons, like whether the other team realizes it or not, if you know what you're doing with those add-ons, you've got an advantage against them. Like having all that extra information distributed to you, like without you having to think about it, like is pretty prime. And I don't like doing the shit without it. To be honest, even not having my bag, like my ARC inventory is like one of my favorite add-ons. Like I love having my shit sorted out. I've got trash here. I've got like miscellaneous like special items and stuff here. I've got bind on equip items. I've got my jewels for jewel crafting. I've got already bound equipment that I use and shit here. My food, flasks and potions, like shit just separated how I like it. But if losing something as simple as this, like, bothers me. Like when my add-ons are not up to date and like my ARC inventory is not working, I'm like, I can't even play. I have to wait till my add-ons are ready and updated. Wait till they come out with a patch for my add-ons. I can't even begin to fathom like my bank without that add-on. Like my bank is completely like loaded with just a bunch of bullshit collected from different expansions. Because I'm a hoarder and I refuse to get rid of a lot of it. I mean, granted, some of it's like I'm glad I kept. Like I've got 9 sky shards or something like that, and I need 1 more sky shard in order to be able to drop the shield from the sky serpent that flies above Veil of Eternal Blossoms, and it's a guaranteed mount. It's like Sky Serpent mount. I've got cool shit like that I've kept that are a bunch of stuff that I probably don't need in the game. I'm like behind this dude. I need to go a different route. Apparently I'm behind someone that's activating all the ones that direction. He's already got my route. I can go the opposite direction to him, apparently. Come here. Oh, don't do that. Don't you touch my thing. Get out of here. Why am I not singing cat? Sucker! Trying to take my shit. Well, it's not that this is my favorite mount. I've got way cooler mounts than this. This is just the most efficient mount right now as far as ground mounts, because this mount walks on top of water. When I'm actually in water, I've got, well, I thought I did. Oh, okay, I moved it, yeah. Brine Deep Bottom Feeder, which is only usable in an underwater area, and it's like a little bottom feeder fish mount. Gives me increased swim speed. Either that, or I pop on my Underlight Angler artifact fishing pole, which enables me to turn into a shark and get super fast swim speed. But only problem with that is I tend to forget that I've got that damn fishing pole attached when I get back to the combat. It's like, you must have a two-handed weapon equipped. I'm like, oh shit. Put my weapon back on. No wonder I'm only doing 2k damage. This is probably my favorite mount right here. Because I was probably one of the first ones to get this mount. I got it like the first week that Mogashan Vaults was released. Like for heroic version. Got it off of our first Elegon kill. Was lucky enough to win the role in our guild group. Sat in Shrine of the Two Moons outside with this for the longest damn time. Just sitting there showing off with it because no one else had this mount. The only sparkling, like, star bursting astral mount that was like actually cool. There's another one that looks semi-astral, and I wonder if I have it. I don't even know if I have it. Celestial. I think it's a celestial. Yeah, here's the celestial sea. There's this thing. Not as cool as my dragon. But that's purchasable from the store. You can purchase that with real money through the store. But not as cool as my dragon that I got. And I posted that shit to like Deathwing's Facebook page. I'm like, yeah, realm first astral serpent. When it dropped, I'm like, oh my god, let me have that thing. I want it. I'm like, it's gonna be the mount I used for so long. And I do, I still use this mount all the time when there's flying enabled, but it's just more convenient to use this. Still a mount I don't have that I really want is Invincible's Range.
You have my thanks. Children these days have no respect for their elders or their belongings.
Yeah,
Now back in my day.
Undead horse mount. And it's pretty fucking cool. Okay, I can actually show you that in here. Invincible. Not to be confused with invisible. And that's a cool fucking horse. And I've wanted this horse for so long. I've ran Ice Crown Citadel 25-man heroic since Wrath of the Lich King. And I've been killing the Lich King since then, and I've never gotten this mount, and it's so cool. Oh yeah, people would whisper me with that astral mount. People would whisper me all the time, like, "Oh my god, where's that mount from? That is so cool! Like, I haven't seen that one before." Like, I'd get whispers all the time, sitting out Shrine in the Two Moons. I'm like, gotta do Elegon heroic, and that was at current content, so there wasn't a lot of people clearing Elegon heroic during that current time. And then more people started to get it. I think one other person had it by the end of the expansion in my realm, and he was also in my guild. And then other than that, I never saw anybody else riding around with it until at least the following expansion, maybe the next one after that, when the place became farmable by people. And then now I see it kind of frequently. Bunches of people have it, but that's because you can go solo that boss and kill it now. But I've got Facebook date page posting on Deathwing's Facebook page to show that I have the first, or at least one of the first. The other guy, I like beat someone else, I think by like a 1 point on my roll. The other guy was so upset. He was like, damn it. He was wanting to buy it from me. Like, yeah, no. That mountain's invaluable. They're like 10 million, which at that time would have been impossible. Oh yeah, I could literally carry you through 25-man Lich King once you got up to level 70, level 80, level 80. Once you got up to level 80, I could literally carry you through that and get you gear from 25-man Heroic Ice Crown Citadel before you started leveling into the rest of it. But it's easily soloable. I clear it like probably, well, was clearing it before Battle for Azeroth came out, probably 13 to 14 times a week trying to get that damn mount, and still can't get that damn horse. It's irritating. And I see people riding around with it, I'm like, I bet you ran that one time and got that damn mount. Alright, let's go. My only complaint about this expansion is I literally feel like world quests are shoved down your throat. Oh, this is a really good expansion. My favorite though? I don't know, to be honest. I'm gonna really have to see how this one plays out. I really enjoyed Burning Crusade, and then I really enjoyed Wrath of the Lich King too. But this one's playing out really good. This one might end up becoming my favorite. Like I was saying, my only real complaint about it is I feel like world quests are shoved down your throat because you need them for all this reputation in order to be able to grind up and get your shit to revered and get armor pieces and stuff before the raid. It's like, it feels like, and it's part of the Pathfinder, so you have to do 100 different world quests for part of the Pathfinder, first part of the Pathfinder quest. Which I believe it'll end up being a 2-part Pathfinder quest, and once you unlock both parts, that's how you unlock the ability to fly in this new territory, which is key because flying is gold. No, those are standard like story quests, leveling quests. So, like, this is a world quest. And they pop up. They have timers on them, and they randomly generate throughout the world and change up and shit. And they have different rewards based on, like, you can highlight over these and see what reward that they give. And then you go to the location and you do that reward. And most of these that are associated with the faction, like Zandalari Empire up there, like that'll give Zandalari Empire reputation for you, which is the primary reason behind being like feeling forced to do them, is because you need to grind your reputation out as fast as possible because there are high quality items locked behind the reputations. And hell, Arnorbound's got a damn dungeon locked behind its reputation for attunement process. So I can't even get into this mythic dungeon called Siege of Boralis because I think you have to be revered with Honorbound, and I'm like just about halfway with Honorbound. Honored in Honorbound. There's a tongue twister for you.
Do you know who I am? I pray it shows up.
Oh, speaking of which, damn it. I'm gonna have to show you that in a little bit. I actually got a mount for you. Yeah, that mount I told you about that I've been saving. Oh, I can actually show you what it looks like from here now. It's an easy mount to get. It's not like expensive or anything. I collected it from my garrison mission quest, but he's still cool. And you ride up here in this little chair on top of his back. Yeah, I got one of those sitting in my bank for you. Only downside to him is he doesn't fit through a lot of doors, so. But he's still cool to run around with. He makes you stand out for sure. It's like my core hound mount. I got him on my bars here somewhere too, but I can't really use him a whole lot like when I'm doing certain things, just because he's so massive and like I don't fit through doors. I had to shut down my stream a little bit earlier. Buddy Blake came over for a bit. Hung out with him. Haven't seen him in a while. But then I popped it back up. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, aside from things that are like way too tall to like walk over, but I often... That was weird. That was real weird. Oh, what the flip? Now I'm getting a critical error. What the hell is up with that? Let's try again. That's weird. I like went to activate my mount and it's like not going. I'm just sitting there ruffling with my hands. I'm like, oh well, that's not good. I don't know what's causing that. Like, what the fuck is causing that? Try again. You shall not pass. That's what the game says. You shall not mount. Disconnected. That's what the game's doing to me. Mounting is a good sign. Deploying Goblin Glider, another very good sign.
Tons of shiny sea glass wash up into this marsh with a Murloc crab. See if you can pick out some pretty pieces. However you see.
Well, currently we're the two factions are at war, Horde versus Alliance. So I'm Horde versus the Alliance side, but right now I'm not in war mode. I'm in the standard mode. It is much more stress-free while trying to do these world quests and streaming, different things like that. Well, I'm not really paying attention to what's going on in the game half the time. Yes, you are Horde. Swap that back to current. I'm not sure actually, to be honest. I see my counters drop on and off. I'm not sure exactly how that works, and every once in a while I get someone to watch us on Mixer. I've got a couple followers on there, I think. Well, other than you, I've got a couple followers on there. Yeah, that's actually what I'm gonna go through. I think I get 14 days. Before the end of the 14 days, I need to actually take those videos and this is what I was telling you about. The reason I want to work on the editing. I want to take all those videos that are automatically uploaded on there and download them, edit them, chop out all my AFK times, chop out all my breaks in internet connection, combine all that and make everything more fluid and one smaller, more gameplay piece, and then upload that as an actual gameplay stream video that's that's been saved, and then my live streams are just whatever. They're live. They're my life, playing the game, you know. I do little intro segments here and there for videos that I start, or try to do intro segments, but I imagine once I start editing, I'm going to try to create a solid intro piece and then have it transfer into the actual video versus having a bunch of different like intro pieces throughout the thing. I'm probably going to go with one set piece and then put it as the beginning to all my videos. I was actually probably gonna do that in one of I've got a couple some pretty cool plays in some of my streams that I want to go through. Like I played this memory game the other night, got a perfect run on it, like did amazing, just like perfect game of memory. Another time I was flying on a goblin glider, I disengaged off my goblin glider to where I needed to be. I was aiming for this pirate ship down below me because I needed to do some quest shit there, and like disengaged my goblin glider from way up in the air so that I could get a faster drop in instead of having to do a slow fall glide all the way down, and like hit my bop, which is this right here, this blessing of protection. And what it does is it grants immunity to physical damage and harmful effects for 10 seconds, while fall damage is considered physical damage. So use that and I don't take any fall damage. Well, I like landed and went right through the sails of the pirate ship and landed right on the rafter beams like fucking Peter Pan in there. I was like, oh man, probably would never be able to do that again. Need to save that highlight. But I land on the boat all the time. That was just the only time I've ever landed like on the sail beams, like rafters that hold the sail. It's pretty cool. It was like a Peter Pan move coming out of the sky, just landing on that shit. I mean, there was another time I wish I had been recording, but I wasn't recording when I did this. There was another pirate boat that was on the edge of the beach, and I was questing out there with my hunter and killing some mobs on the outside of the boat, and I noticed that the boat had cut out slats in the side of it, like little windows where the cannons would go through. And I noticed there were enemies inside the boat that I needed to deal with as well. Well, while I'm fighting the other enemies, I get myself up on the top of this hill, like that gives me a little bit of elevation, and then I disengage off the hill in through one of these cannon windows and inside the boat and start killing shit inside the boat. Another pro play. I'm like, holy shit, never do that again. And I'll never have it recorded. It was just like an on-the-fly move. I was like, hey, you know what? Let's see if I can disengage right inside the cannon window of this. It's like barely big enough for me to fit through to. And I just like disengaged right perfect inside the window and started killing shit inside there. Sea glass. Sea bass for the sea glass. Pulled a PvP move before Battle for Azeroth actually came out. In a random party out in Ashen, I can't remember the damn name. I want to say it's Dark Shore, but South Shore. South Shore? Who cares? But I was there and doing world quests and shit in war mode, and ended up joining a party for like killing Alliance, because I was running around killing Alliance. I was like, you know what, I'm bored doing these world quests. I'm just gonna go find me some Alliance to kill, see if I can't get an assassin title, or not a title, but get my assassin buff and go around killing some shit. And ended up finding a few other people that were doing the same thing, wanting to kill some shit. Joined a party with them and ended up going around for like 45 minutes, like with an assassin marker, which essentially means you get a bounty reward placed on your head for if the Alliance can kill you, but you also get a damage buff and health buff that like gets higher the more kills you get, I believe. Because I think my health kept going higher the more I was doing it. But was just mopping up Alliance. They kept coming in by the hordes and shit, and there's like 4 of us. Four of us took out like a group of 8 Alliance that tried to drop in on us. We went around for like 45 minutes to an hour until we got bored. Alliance couldn't kill us, so we ended up hearthing out. But before we were leaving, we were on our way to, like, we were calling it it's the PvP stuff.
Oh, this one has some sand.
We were on our
on
way
it.
to
But
we
no
were
matter.
calling the
You did
extraction
very
point,
well.
which was the Hearthstone area for our faction in that area where all our quests took place. And so we're making our way there, and there's this like ravine that cuts off a part of the way to that encampment. And there's like a river and stuff down below, and I was on the opposite side of this ravine, and the mage that was part of my group was on the complete opposite side, and trying to get over, and 2 Alliance dropped out of the sky to try to take him out while he was off by himself, and I was running along the ravine watching him, and the moment I saw those 2 drop out of the sky, there was this ramp up part of stone along one side of the ravine. I hit my divine steed to get a boost and shot over the edge of that shit to get like a ramp running start over it. Hit my bot so that I wouldn't take fall damage from landing on the other side, and just dropped in with some hammers and shit and started wrecking them, mopped them up, and we moved to the extraction point. And I pull off some crazy moves. Oh, gnomes? Try gnomes with noggin fogger. Turns him into like these little bitty critter sized things that like flee of death. Yeah, try a gnome rogue with the noggin fogger potion, which essentially shrinks their size even more, and they become like a little flea of death. It's nuts. Remember, twinking and doing that shit used to be super popular. Yeah, no shit, they aren't small enough already. If it weren't for nameplates, you wouldn't even see them coming. They'd just come and roll over you and wreck you like, oh my god, did you see that critter? It just killed me. I think it was a beetle. Oh, I killed the turtle. Poor turtle. We're done with the world quest there. Yeah. What the fuck do I get out of this hole?
Someone in this cave is mining azurite from the world's open wounds. Put a stop to it.
Okay, we're going the wrong way, guys. Going the wrong way. Fucking dwarves, they cracked me up. Care for a pint? Arr. Matey. They've got like a jacked up pirate thing going on. Now how the hell do I get up there is the question. Or do I need to go inside somewhere? We're mining, so we're probably going inside. Let's be honest.
We will eradicate you like insects.
Oh, that's a lot of that could be bad. This is gonna suck. That's no bueno. Oh, gosh. Oh yeah, this is stupid whirlwind shit. Whew. That was close. I knew when I pulled it, that was, oh my god, that's a lot of enemies that I just picked up. Do it without my buffs too. That's how I roll.
letting their own greed for the health of Azeroth. Thank you, champion.
Oh, speaking, well, not speaking of anything, but thinking of this, I need to make this bigger. Where is option alt right click? That's control alt right click. Options, micro unit frames, scale of the micro unit frames. Further. No, okay. I'm just kidding. I don't look that big anyway. It's too fucking big. Imagine 25 of those things on a screen. There'll just be a bunch of fucking colored boxes. I appreciate that, bro. I won't really know whether or not that's good enough until I'm in a raid and I see 25 of them stacked alongside of each other and see how much space they take up. But previously they were way too small to get my mouse down here to efficiently click on, and that's still kind of too small. I kind of think I need 150%. Hopefully 25 will fit there. I think it does like rows of 10 or some shit. I forget. But oh, wait. I think there's a way to actually test this. Test layout. Fail. Okay, that's not what I want. Bunches of people collectively killing larger larger bosses. Kind of like a dungeon, but much grander scale. A dungeon may take 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, around there. Raids can take hours. Especially when you're doing progression raiding, because you'll wipe on a boss over and over and over again until you get the kill for it, especially like more advanced difficulties like mythic raid encounters and stuff like that. But that's where you get into the really badass loot. I don't know why the test didn't. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, 25 is not going to fit how I want them to. Okay, so we need to fix that. Okay, there we go. That'll do. I'll move it over now. Drag all the micro unit frames, alt left click. We'll place it right in there. Now what this enables me to do, well, I don't know if you see these boxes down here at the bottom that I just brought up. I'll place these down here. But these enable me to, on the fly, de-disease and de-poison people. So like, let's take these test bars off now. Glad those showed up. So I have this ability here called Cleanse Toxins. Having this add-on enables me to do this on the fly for party members so that I don't have to target party members in order to cleanse them. I can remove a poison or a disease effect every 8 seconds. And this is very helpful for healing purposes, especially like raid progression and stuff like that. The more dispels you can get out, the less raid damage your raid's taking, the easier it is on your healers, the better they're able to keep you and the tanks alive. It's helpful having this utility to be able to dispel and to know how to dispel as a DPS, and to not just sit there face rolling on a boss doing nothing but pushing some keys and trying to pad meters for damage. I do that as well, but at the same time I like to do utility as well, which is why I run Healbot, which enables me to click cast on people in the raid, cast bops on them, use lay on hands on them, use blessing of freedom on them, hell, even resurrect them. If they're dead and I click on them, it knows because they're dead and I'm doing so and so click to cast resurrection on them. Different things like that. This, just at the click of a button, enables me to cast my cleanse on the target that I click here. And what'll happen is it'll actually play a sound in my ear, like a dong or a bell sound, and one of these boxes that'll be here, depending on how many people in my party, will get a number on them, a counting down number on them for how long the duration of said disease or poison is, as well as it'll highlight that box signifying that, hey, this person has a disease, and it'll enable me to just click on the box and remove that disease while I'm still doing other stuff and continue to go about my life. Besides that, I don't actually click that. It's kind of redundant because I actually have a keybind set up for it. It's far faster for me to just hit my keybind with my thumb. This is more so I can use it for other people. That's just using it as an example. I can go down there and click it on myself, but if I notice it's on me, because I'm on the first box, I don't bother to reach down there and click it unless I'm having a brain fart moment and can't remember where my cleanse is. I'll just hit my cleanse and that automatically goes on myself. Unless I'm targeting someone else, which actually happened in the Mythic I was doing earlier with Damaris in the party. She's a healer, and we were having an oh shit moment, and everybody was dying. Well, more me than anything was dying. Like, and I went to lay on hands myself. Apparently and lay on hands is like an instant full heal. Like gives me, yeah, for an amount equal to your maximum health. So it'll heal me for 97,000.79, yeah, whatever. I forget how that's set up because it's set up to K's and shit. I got my numbers set up here, but 97,000. That's exactly what that is. 97,000, and then big heal, long cooldown. But I used it on her instead. And she's like, "Thanks, Kellamore." I'm like, "Yeah." I meant to try to save myself with that, but guess I had you targeted, and that'll end up happening if you have someone else targeted when you use some of your healing abilities. It'll go on them whether you intended it to or not. Now if you have an enemy targeted, it automatically thinks you want to cast it on yourself, and it'll cast your healing abilities on you. Now we're done with that quest. We're going to move over here to these old Scorched Sands outposts. Oh, you can't even play at all anymore now. With it, like, it don't even matter. Like, if you don't have you have to pay $15 a month at this point in order to be able to continue to get access to it. at all. But the $15 a month unlocks full access to it. And then obviously you would need expansion, whatever. But your game's sitting there waiting for you. You have everything still. You just, in order to unlock access to it, you have to be a subscriber, essentially, and then it all unlocks for you. Whatever expansions you have purchased are fully unlocked to you. Oh, yeah. Like, there's no other game that compares in content. Like, absolutely no other game. No singular game. Like, like, even Destiny. Like, I thought Destiny was going to be like a running, like, singular content game that they built on top of and continued to progress in that one singular game. No, they broke it into a Destiny 2, separated your characters, made it start over, like, shit like that. Like, you lost all your items, all the cool vanity pieces and stuff that you'd collected over the years of playing Destiny 1. It's like, yeah, no, like, I don't know if I get behind that, and then I didn't really enjoy Destiny 2, but World of Warcraft is the only game that I can think of that has even remotely this amount of content in a singular setting. And I mean, there's replayable content, like all kinds of shit that I could run you through. Like once you hit certain levels and stuff, like I literally take you through tons of different classic raids. Let me open up some stuff here and show you. We'll go to our adventure guide, and we'll go to raids, and we'll go. These are the different expansions worth of raids here, and we just like even the classic at level 60. Once you hit level 60, I could take you through any of these 4 raids here. Molten Core, well, I forget, some of them need attunements, but I might be able to get you in them. I forget whether or not I can, but some of them require an attunement. I think Molten Core may still need an attunement, but these are some raids there, and they have like all kinds of different cool looking loot that you could get for transmog. Like let's go to something better. Let's go to Molten Core, and let's go to Ragnaros. Let's go to the Spinal Reaper. Cool. Like, there's that axe that drops off. It drops off him. There's a weapon enchant transmog that you can collect off of him. Or actually, I guess that's just for Shaman to collect that. But there's all kinds of these pieces, and even after you're done using them, they'll be part of your appearance collection, like you see me doing here. Like whenever I'm like putting crazy looking mogs on, I can take this mount.
That's it. Lucky
And these are
goose and
like the
rope.
collections of things that I've gotten from different raids, like over the years and transmog runs. And got 170 out of 443 available helmet looks, and there's other armor pieces and stuff like the shoulder pieces. I've got 147 of them. Yeah, 170 helms, 147 shoulders. Just goes on and on. Bunches of different there's sets that I've collected. Like these are full sets that I've managed to collect. And that would literally make me look like that in each of these sets, but
Good fortune
I
to
could
all
literally
friends
take
of the
you through
Grummels.
the raids, and they're out each expansion. At level 60, I could take you through a bunch of different ones. At level 70, I could take you through a bunch of different ones. 80, 90, so on and so forth. And tons of content, just countless hours of play. You see, like, on this character alone, I'll actually show you now, I think. Where's my... Is it this? There we go, okay. Total time played on just this character alone is 278 days. 3 hours. That is time spent in-game on just this character. I've got other characters and it adds up. Collectively, I've got well over a year worth of total playtime.
The pirates of Zemlan are holding Zandalari exiles captive. Free them.
Zemlan knows somebody living no more. I feel nothing.
Do I kill these things? This prisoner freed.
Your landlubber land.
Find the right spot. Oh, I found. Oh, passing one. There we go. Green head. You little green text person, you.
This be our fault.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'm actually, I need some dabs going here. I need to collect some more of these prisoners before I forget what I'm doing and then run off and don't collect prisoners. Because it's fucking ADHD for you. What was I doing? I looked away for like 1 second. For sure, bro.
I've been defending this pub for countless years.
Well, defend no longer, sir. Rest. Be John. Oh, Jamo. Whatever. that's a Sonic bag. That ain't concentrate. Where the hell is the rest of it? Wait. I'll have to be right back. I need to figure out what the hell Peyton did with my crap. Somebody likes me. Can't believe he doesn't have that achievement.
A pack of brutosaurs wandered into Vol'dun and caused the Renishu to start a feeding frenzy. Cull their numbers before they escalate into a deadly swarm. Thank you for preventing it from happening.
Rest in peace, Grubs. Yes, sir. Oh, and I don't care whether you use profanity or not. It doesn't bother me. It is an 18 plus. Rated R. Shut.
Someone's drawing power from Azerite in this area. You need to stop him.
Guess it's stop
Using the power to heal Azeroth instead of hurt her. Good work, champion.
Good work, champion.
dominion over all.
There's something very dangerous lurking here. You need to kill it before it kills you.
Good plan. Well thought out. Dangerous thing. Kill it before it kills you.
To the law, our strength is our own.
That's one less problem to worry about.
I'd
Nice work.
forgotten your voice.
Yeah. It's much better for my eyes being able to see that.
There's a dangerous creature nearby. I need you to take care of it before it's too late.
Oh no. This guy? I'll do it. Warm mother looks like a dude. Where are we at? Okay. See if we can get a visual of this person without getting too close. War mother looks like a dude.
Blood Figurhoon! Not like this!
Oh no, it disappeared. Now we're in first person mode. Blizzard was talking about doing a mode for like dungeons, like one of the challenges is doing it in first person. It's like, I'll do that shit. I'll do a first person challenge. Practice that shit. Except for the fact that I'm going away from the quest. Shit, I played enough Skyrim that I know how to navigate a large world. Crazy shit. doesn't. It opens a map in front of you. I knew it opened a map when you were in third person view, but I didn't realize that it would like show it in your first person view if you opened a map. X marks the spot. Capture Crawlus larva, which is located where? I'm like standing on it. It's much more difficult for like PvP and competitive aspect of it, but for like questing and just playing around, having fun purposes, like it works well enough, and it's a different perspective of the World of Warcraft universe. Competitive purposes, and especially for PvP, to have that third yeah, I can do that. I could definitely do that. Oh, you know what? I'm retarded as fuck. Okay, that's a dungeon quest, so I can't do that without going in the dungeon, which I'm not gonna do right now. That's just the race in this zone. It's like prominent in this desert zone. They're like against the Volpira. Well, most of them are. There's a small faction that is friendly with us, which I actually could see them becoming an allied race later on, and we could actually get to be snake people, which would be cool. I'm actually rooting for that. And then the Volpira are these little fox creatures. I think I showed you them. They're these little fox people, but I could see them ending up going to the Alliance as an allied race, and us getting these snake people for our allied race. But they're called Sethrak. They're like humanoid snakes. They're pretty dope. The first time I've ever seen them is this expansion.
Our empire's dawn is your extinction. Let your death be a lesson to the others. Our empire's dawn is your extinction.
down in some pit area. The snake pit. Nah. Uh-oh. Fuck you, rock. This is bullshit. Like, I'm going through these rocks at a certain point. I hate not being able to have flying. I'm just gonna use this. Well, we actually all get pandas. I could see them actually coming out with like another faction race. The pandas, when you go through their storyline, you actually get to select at the end of it whether you want to join the Horde cause or whether you want to join the Alliance cause. But a lot of the Alliance tunes are very proper and like one with the loon and like very standardized leadership. Like, I forget exactly how they select their king, but it sucks because it's not based upon like strength or by like people appointing him as the leader. It's more like by bloodline and right and like shit like that. Kingdoms, crap. The Alliance side has a decent enough storyline, but the Horde storyline definitely appeals to me more about factions rising from slavery and like virtually coming from extinction and shit like that to like rise again, and that's mostly what the races in this faction are factions that were nearly wiped out and rose again through honor and brotherhood through the Horde. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons that the Blood Elves or the High Elves, a lot of people are upset that Blizzard doesn't want to give High Elves to the Alliance and these blue-eyed elven versions, but essentially those blue-eyed elven versions, they don't commune with the power. They're weak. They're just elves, in my opinion. Those blue-eyed elves, they're not even high elves. They don't commune with the power. They can't commune with the arcane. They're not communing with the Sunwell because they're not the Blood Elves, which is that's what we commune with, is the Sunwell, and they're not communing with the Moonwell. They're just weak versions. Like Varisa Windrunner, she's a weak twat. She ain't shit in comparison to her sisters Sylvanas and Illyria. Both of them commune with the power. Sylvanas communes with death, and Illyria communes with the void, which gives them great strength. Varisa is just a weak, normal elf in comparison to her sisters, and I don't believe that type of elf depiction is any merit for giving the Alliance a supposed high elf, because they're betrayers to the high elf as far as I'm concerned, because they decided that the Alliance faction was more important than the ties to their bloodline that were going to create Kel'Thalas, and were breaking away from the Alliance, but because the Alliance shunned the High Elves for their communion with the arcane magics and shit like that. There was a lot of hate going on for them and bigotry shit because they communed with the arcane. So the High Elves with Kel'Thas, Sunstrider, took off and said, fuck this, we're done with the Alliance. Like, you want to be some arrogant asses? Well, we're going to go over here and we're going to create our own kingdom, and that's essentially what they did. And then Arthas comes along. Arthas still plays it as the Death Knight, wipes out most Blood Elves and shit. Like, whole ordeal happens. Like, there's a lot of storyline that goes into it. I'm not going to give you too much more spoilers, Yeah. Just space elves, pretty much. While they look cool with their blue eyes, they're nothing special, and they're no reason to give the Alliance that elven power. That's why the Alliance got the Void Elves. The Alliance have Void Elves, which kind of give them the Blood Elf model. But there's reasoning behind the Blood Elves having power, or I mean the Void Elves having power. They commune with the Void, like that gives them power. Like, Varisa's not powerful. I think one of the comics with the three sisters, they're going on like a commune and walk to some area near their home up near Silver Moon City. I forget the exact name of the place. But anyways, they're going there, and the Void speaks to Illyria Windrunner. Yeah, there was some crazy shit that went down with Kelthus Sunstrider. Arthas managed to corrupt him, and then they ended up corrupting the Sunwell, which is why we ended up getting the green eyes for the longest time. But now, I believe it was Velen that did it. Velen helped purify and cleanse the Sunwell, so now it's gold, and we actually have the option to make our eyes gold now to depict that color change. But in this comic, Illyria is hearing these voices because she communes with the Void, which is bad shit in itself, and the Alliance allows her to be part of it, and I don't think they fully understand the concept of the Void shit. Like, the Void powers and the elements of the Void come from old gods. She's essentially communing with servants of the old gods to get her powers, and so are the people that are underneath her. Like, the entire race basis is communing with old god shit, like Void Lords. She hears these maddening whispers in her head that are telling her all the time, and the voices literally told her that, speaking about Varisa, that this is a weak one. Kill her or bring her to me so I can make her strong, or some shit like that. Like, Varisa's weak. She is nothing in comparison to her sisters. That's why I don't get behind the whole giving Alliance these blue-eyed things. It's just not plausible enough for it. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of traitors. Congratulations. You guys managed to have a bunch of weak-ass traitors that decided that the Alliance was more important than joining their faction, communing with the powers of the Sunwell. And going and creating their own thing. That's why you have, like, Kirin Tor and stuff. Kirin Tor Offensive, that'll be those types of high elves. I can try a little bit. With my ADHD, it's difficult for me to piece together what I'm trying to say, especially like something long like that. I'd have to probably record a video and edit it a whole shitload of times and cut pieces out, redo pieces. Yeah. The book definitely explains it, like, so good. Like, I'm finding myself while I read the book, like, I think I told you, like, as I'm going through it and I'm reading certain pieces and I start to relate it with the game as it's describing places in the book, I'm like relating it. I'm like, man, that sounds familiar. I think I know where that is. And then it names the place. I'm like, oh shit, I've been there. I know this. And like being able to associate things that are happening within the book and they're like, oh, that's why that happens. That's why that's the way it is. And just like revelations that you have while reading this, like I'm learning quite a bit from it. It's impressive, the detail and the lore behind the creation of the Azeroth universe and the Great Dark Beyond, which is like our galaxy and different shit like that. You learn so much.
We Tortolans love the story of Lo, a young Tortolan who traveled the world. Often enough, Lo's travels were fraught with dangers. Take this story, for example. Lo and the sea. A young Tortolan must find their way to safety immediately after emerging from the sands.
We had powers.
See if you can guide Lo to the safety of the
camp. I can't throw a fucking holy hammer of justice like 25 yards. Like, can't go with this storyline.
I do enjoy a wild rumpus. On occasion, I have even been known to partake in a tussle, or even fisticuffs.
Now we gotta figure out how to do this. And I think I got it. Bam, 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 bam. There we go. So we're gonna go. The wrong button. I'm like, why is it not turning? Hello? Oh, crap. Okay, I can still get it. I can still correct my mistake. This is a little mini game for the Tortolan faction. This turtle here gives you the quest token. It's like maze, guide the turtle. And the objective is to make him pass over every flag without crossing the same path twice. And then you gotta get to the finish line here. So they're not too bad.
Well done,
like really
hero.
Map out the way you need to go beforehand, and you don't not see a flag, like miss a flag and shit, like I almost did there.
massive sea monster has been ravaging the coast. We must stop the beast before it ventures further inland. The sands in Voldoon.
Run for your life! These hippo creatures are kind of funny. My buddy Keebs has one of those hippo creatures, and he's a hunter, so he can tame pets. And he's tamed one of these hippo things, but it has spears all in its back like a fucking pincushion. It's so funny looking. Okay, looks like we're done with world quests in this zone. Voldoondan. Voldoondan. So many to do there. We're gonna start here. Fly to Zabala. If you're ever watching the stream when I'm online with Keebs, I'll make him bust that shit out so I can show you. It's pretty funny. I have no idea where to even find that hippo. It's like a rare spawner or something. Can't look at that one. Stop looking at that one. Yeah, I'm almost honored with Tortolan. Apparently I need to see this reputation I'm highlighted over here right now. Honor bound. 2,400 out of 12,000 needed in order to reach the next rank, which is revered, and I need that rank in order to unlock this mythic dungeon that I want to do. Siege of Borealis, which we go over here, not to the shop. but to the adventure guide. And go to dungeons, battle for Azeroth, siege of Paralis. I want this. Primarily for transmog, so I can run around with that. But it's kick-ass pole arm from there, but definitely better than what I'm using anyway. It's not my best in slot, because my best in slot has haste mastery, but anything other than versatility is better for me. It could take a bit with the because this reputation deal is only accessible through world quests and through some other smaller sources like my war campaign mission board. Yeah, I think that's actually it. I guess there's a mace in here too. Definitely don't want that one. This would be better for me. Hopefully all these things are usable by me and have different upgrades, but I need to unlock this place. The real weapon I want though is from this other one that I don't know if I have access to either. There's that King's Rest. And there's a weapon that does this crazy bleed effect. Getajiku, Cut of Death. Chance to make the enemy bleed for 15,000 physical damage over 12 seconds, and if it dies with the bleed, I get 11,000 or almost 12,000 healing. And it looks pretty cool. And that's it. Well, over 15 seconds. That's actually quite a bit of increased damage. It's over 1,000 per second. Which is nice. Helmet the Raptor King. I used to be. I wouldn't say I am now. I'm not as hardcore a player as I used to be. I remember when Wrath of the Lich King came out, and that was one of the expansions I went super hard in. That's what I was saying, like I've ran 25-man Heroic Ice Crown Citadel since it was current content and still not gotten Invincible's reigns. But when that game first came out, I was waiting at GameStop. Now this was back when this was the way to get games too. Waiting at GameStop for the midnight release. I had a fucking case of a 5-hour energy, like maximum things. I might have 2 cases of those suckers. 5-hour energies waiting, like, to use. And I must have stayed awake for 3 days straight, like on 5-hour energy drinks, just leveling, getting my character geared and shit, and like I went ape shit during that expansion. And constant food. That's when I really got into cooking and shit too, because I had to fish, do all kinds of cooking recipes, about WoW, when if you really get into it and you want to be like, you want to get to the competitive aspect of it, yeah, you go on a 3-day grind. Because if you don't, you're not being competitive enough. At least for the like world first pushes. Because there's people that will literally stay awake until they are level 120, and they will get to level 120 in less than a day, and they'll just go at it, like staying awake. But I can't do that shit anymore. Like, not worth it to me. I'd rather go to sleep after having done a decent grind, and then wake up fully refreshed and feeling good, go back at it again. But if you want to be one of the world first people, you don't go to sleep, you stay awake for a 3-day grind. Played during the original, the classic WoW, and never made it to level 60. Played a hunter a lot. I actually played on the Alliance. I started off on the Alliance, and I just hated the community on the Alliance. After a while, I ended up switching over to Horde side. And I think that happened during Wrath of the Lich King. And I was playing Hunter and a Death Knight up until that point, like in Wrath of the Lich King. But before that, Burning Crusade was kind of a raid intro for me. I did some Karazhan with my hunter. I did Serpent Shrine Cavern and Hyjal, Black Temple, and all this current content. Completed quite a bit of bosses. Didn't have Illidan on the farm or anything, but I did defeat him at least once. Did some Mount Hyjal shit. Kind of got my feet wet for raiding, and I decided I really loved raiding. And that's when Wrath of the Lich King was going to be released, and I decided I was going to be one of these people that pushed for like top-end content, be one of the top people on the realm. And sure enough, I did. I was one of the top rep paladins for the longest time, and hell, even during Mists of Pandaria, it was me and another guy named Mithelm were constant competition for highest item level rep paladin on realm. I don't even know if that guy plays anymore. I haven't seen him around. But.
The Nightborn have an idea of how to handle the invaders in Shibala. This should be fun to watch. must tell Paku about this. I've collected many things over the years. See if you can match them.
Oh no, yes, it's a memory game. It's not shooting shit with she-shows.
Blah, blah, blah. Get on with it. If you find powerful artifacts, bring them to me. And don't go trying to use them yourself.
The crab. The ball. The Valkyrie. Oh, wait, hang on. Take it. The turtle. The robot. Son of a bitch, man. I'll take the crab. Give me the crab. Oh, the turtle, which was the wrong end. Damn it, I picked that one again. I don't know why I picked that one. But I got it. That weird thing right there. That weird thing. Oh, the robot. About to head out for a smoke here in a second once I get to semi-safe spot up here. I'm gonna grab the soda and we're back in loot. And I thought I was gonna do some mythic dungeons tonight, but I don't think I am. I think I'm gonna reserve that for tomorrow, and I'm really gonna go ham on getting those completed because I've got several that I need to get completed before reset on Tuesday. Because you can only do mythic zeros each dungeon once per week. Well, you can do it more than once per week, the dungeon itself, and like help other people and kill bosses and whatnot, but you only get a chance to get loot from each boss in each dungeon once per week in the mythic zeros. So I need to complete as many as possible before the reset, otherwise whatever I don't complete this week is essentially missed out on for the first week of the expansion. And so if I can get all the dungeons completed, that at least ensures that I got all those chances at loot. But I think I'm gonna clean up these world quests tonight, some chatting, hanging out, and then tomorrow we will pop in some mythics. Because I'm literally going to need to create a group and sit here. Like, I won't be able to go through and do world quests and other shit I'm trying to get done while I'm trying to form a group. But I will be right back. Alright.
State your business. Be ready for anything.
The Rastari have been working to flush the Mogul out of the warport, but to no avail. Rally them and crush any Mogul that get in your way.
Crush the Mogul.
We will reforge our empire with your bones!
The warport must not
Taking
fall!
Rastakan's name! for your new masters! You have done well, champion!
Speak your business. I am sworn to be...
I have many, many wares.
Show. Me too. I'm back.
Many farewells.
A powerful enemy near this location has proven problematic for our forces. I trust it must be done.
Sandala forever.
Like, oh, these mobs drop here inside them. Shit, what you don't have. Definitely horde. They create a lot. They're a lot of our builders. They're like our engineers and builders and shit. goblins are definitely cool. They've got their own vibe to them. Sorry, officer from my guild whispered me about the mythic earlier. Let me know. Hoped I had fun running with them and shit. I was just whispering him back. But as I was saying, yeah, goblins are like our builders, our engineers, whereas the gnomes and dwarves are the builders for the Alliance. Humans too, human builders and shit. They all kind of do things, but our engineers are the goblins. I don't need this though, I'm out. Appreciate you though.
For me.
Oh, the jungle sounds and shit. Yeah, I would consider this place pretty ancient. The Zandalari were one of the original troll tribes, or not the original troll tribe. They essentially brought all the troll tribes together to band forces and create one large force to fight off, was it to fight off the Mogu? I think it was to fight off the Mogu. To fight off something else. Forget it. Maybe read the book. I'm still going through the book, but yeah, Zandalari are some badass people, so their empire has been around for a very long time. I need new headphones or desk mic so I don't have to wear headphones because shit hurts my ears after a long period of time. Like the pressing on it, not listening to the sound through it, but like my earphones pressing on my earlobes and shit. Rub some raw.
I see.
Some earth elementals have been infused with azurite and are going crazy. Put them down and absorb their azurite. Shame that azurite is driving the elements out of control. More reason for us to be putting an end to this.
Slaying shit and sucking the like azurite power out of them. I love some of the concept of some of the things that they did with this expansion for sure. Maybe go some token seekers and then go over here too. We'll go Debit time. Swamp sounds and shit. It's so cool. Trips me out when I sit here and like I'm not like really looking at the game, just listening to the sounds in my headphones. Yep.
What is your business here?
Ah, good, an adventurer. I have need of your services. I need someone young, with a working back and a willingness to do battle with the forces of evil. For profit, of course.
I don't even know rank 1. Shit.
Artifacts of great power belong in the hands of elders, not some rambunctious adventurer.
Right. Yeah, like I was saying whenever we were leveling together, like what you're seeing in like that classic WoW and stuff, like that's all basic in comparison to the stuff that you get later on. Like it gets way more fun the further in the expansions and the higher level your character gets, the cooler stuff you find and the cooler races you meet.
It is about the journey, not the destination. Leaving so soon? But I was just starting a great story.
I've seen things that would scare you shellless.
Yeah, the first part of it is like to really test you. The first 60 levels, they're like the true test to your fortitude. And after that, it starts to get fun. Yeah. Goblin gliders, so handy for leveling.
A dangerous foe skulks nearby.
Find a spot
Eliminate
to
it
jump off high and
before it
glide
can
down where you
disrupt
need
our
it.
plans.
It cuts out some serious travel time. And they're easy. Like, they're cheap. You can either buy them pretty cheap from the auction house. Well, I mean, cheap as cheap goes once you get into higher levels. But otherwise, you can have an engineer make them for you, or be an engineer and craft them, and they're not too difficult. For me, they're old world materials. But yeah, engineers craft them. I actually have an engineer, which is how I got it. I collected a bunch of the materials and made a bunch of them, and then I ran out of those, so I went and bought some. But I'm almost out of those too, because I use them all the time, because they're way handy.
Success.
It's a different kind of Naga, a Naga brute type creature, but from the Naga family, part of one of Ashara's creatures. I've done Vol'dun. I've done Zuldazar. I will pop up here into Nosmia. Go after this one here. And then I'll have Zandalar completed as far as world quests go for today, for the next however many hours until more pop up. Pretty much what I need to do is just continue to go around eliminating them as they pop up, so that way they don't build up and then I get overwhelmed and then I have a whole crap ton to do, which is what has happened at this point. So I'm in desperate cleanup mode right now to try to clean them all up, and then I think I need to like do them as they pop up so that they're eliminated quickly and they don't pile on me. Oh no, there'll still be plenty of world quests for you to see. I assure you. going to be the majority of what this expansion consists of, at least for the time being, is world quests, world quests, world quests, dungeons, dungeons, dungeons. And then it'll get interesting. In a couple weeks, it's going to really get interesting, because then raiding's going to start happening, and then there'll be world bosses, and then as the year progresses, more content's going to get released, new shit, and it'll get more fun. This is all still basic things that are going on in preparation for the first raid of the expansion. Oh, Doritos. That's what I need.
Gonna serve us well.
I'm definitely a Dorito addict. That frog just said to fucking fly. Jumped away. Couldn't remember if I had shown you Krogwa or not, so I wanted to come in here and show you Krogwa. The giant frog Loa. He's a good guy though. I like him. I want to say the Loa or Wild Gods, maybe. I need to look at the lore again, but I feel like the Loa or Wild Gods. There's a shit ton of Wild Gods, and they all consist of like spirit animals and shit. So I think the Loa are actually Wild Gods. Yeah, along with a lot of the new expansion stuff, they started doing this high-res definition, high-res colors and stuff like that with their new graphics engine and shit. Whereas on the old continent and stuff, you don't have a lot of this because it's ran on the old engine. like all these floating fireflies and this ambient glow of the swamp. Like, you don't really see that in the old content because it's running off of a different, like, I believe it's running off of a different graphics generator, and it's not rendered in this high definition, high res shit. Spawn of Krogla.
Warriors of the Horde tell me of a troubling threat near you. Eliminate it to relieve their burden.
It's a big fish. No. Only the water bugs. And if you're a Death Knight and you have Path of Frost on, and there's other ways like water walking from shamans, water walking if you're holding this fishing pole, different other ways. But most efficient way is the water bug mount. But you have to be looking across the top of the water. If you look down into the water too much, you'll go down into the water. Water mount. Let me go get away from this fish real quick. No, this was actually farming this thing, this fish mount. There's a reputation dude outside of Dalaran in the Legion expansion that you fish up a bunch of arcane energy shit and turn it into him for reputation, and you can use that same arcane energy tokens as currency to purchase the mount from him. Takes a while. Took me a few hours of fishing. Fishing pole, and it turns me into this thing, which enables me to swim really fast in the water. But like I was saying, if you have a fishing pole on you, and if you don't remember to attach your damn weapon before you go back into combat, then you're getting error messages telling you, hey, you need to equip a two-handed weapon in order to be able to use this ability. And that fishing pole also grants underwater breathing, which is another handy part about it. Now, if I swap the fishing pole one, grants me underwater breathing, increased swim speed. Now I can swap back to my weapon. So, Gibbs actually has a macro set up for it, which I want to do so that I can hit the macro and it just swaps back and forth between whatever weapon I've set up. So I could like literally run up on something, hit the macro, back to my
your worth. Well done.
And yet you're really fast in this form too. And it enables you to walk on water. I guess we'll go here and do one of these. Love having a 5-minute cooldown on my Flight Master whistle. So sweet. I'd love it better if I just had the ability to fly on my flying mount right now. Didn't have to do Pathfinder quests, but I guess we can't have everything. I got mail from something. Where's the mailbox? Who's got the mailbox? I'd never find the mailbox here because it's probably shaped like some weird shit that I've never seen before. That's why I'm like trying to highlight over everything. Is that the mailbox? That's the mailbox? This weird looking rock right here, mailbox? No? Okay. Oh, I guess there's not one here. What do you mean? Permission. Oh, it's not level based. It is achievement based. So you go in your achievements tab under exploration. We'll use Legion as an example. Wonder if I can. Where's Pathfinder? Where's part 1? I guess it won't have part 1. Anyways, here's part 2. Oh, it shows part 1 in here. So, part 1, I had to do all those 5 achievements, which have their own separate things involved with them to complete part 1. And then part 2 had its own things that needed to be completed. You needed to have completed both parts in order to unlock Broken Isles flying. Now, the same thing's going to be here for us. We're here. We've already gotten our part 1 achievement. Part 2 is not available yet. At least not to be seen until I complete this part, I don't think. But I've completed these 3 pieces of the part 1 achievement, and that consists of explore Zandalar, Occultira and Zandalar. That means exploring each of these zones, like going to each of these points in this zone, each of these points in this zone, blah blah, completing that. And then Zandalar Forever, completing the quest storyline, and pretty much the main quest storyline for it. You complete that. And then yeah, that was the one I got a little bit earlier for completing 100 different world quests, and that's these things, completing 100 different ones of these. And then next, we're working on this Azerothian diplomat. That's just going to take some time. That requires me to be revered with all the factions that are available currently. I'm like honored, I think, with all of them. I'm working my way to revered, so that's just going to take some time doing world quests, getting reputation with them from war campaign, shit like that. And then this is actually war campaign, and I need to complete the portions of it. I only have 3 more pieces of the war campaign to complete, but somehow that is time gated or something to that effect. 'Cause you can't complete it all at once. They're releasing it piece by piece. But once that's completed, I'll have that done, and then I'll have the other one done and have part 1 done. And then part 2 likely won't be available till next patch at least, and that's probably going to require you to be exalted with some factions and like other more intense stuff to get that, and then we'll be able to fly. But they try not to allow you to do flying until like towards the end of the expansion, because they want you to walk around and look at everything. It's irritating though. It's like, I'll fly around and look at everything. I can take my mount and I can swoop down in and like fly between the trees and be like, oh damn, that's some cool shit right there, as I go by and not get aggroed by 30 mobs that I didn't want to fight. I don't mind the exploring part, and I don't mind running around, to be honest. I wouldn't mind trekking shit on foot if trying to get past enemies that I don't want to fight, that I don't need, that aren't part of my quest, that like just are in the fucking way. Like if it wasn't so difficult to get around those and get through that to my destination, like wouldn't bother me so much. But that's why flying is golden, because you're like a helicopter. You lift off, you pick your destination, and bam, you execute to your destination, and you knock it out. None of this trekking through all these enemies, trying to weave your way through them, not to aggro them. It's just time sink that way, and it's irritating. But I understand their reasoning behind it. They do put a lot of work into the graphics and into the atmosphere and the layout and everything, and they want people to see it and experience it and look for things, but I think they should give incentive for leveling and like doing shit without flying, like leaving flying disabled with it, but allow people to use it if they want to. I don't know. Something different. I don't like being forced to run through mobs. Or spend money on goblin glider kits to bypass as much as I can anyway. Exactly. That's one thing that was always fun about the flying mountains, literally being able to see stuff without having to fight anything, like fly. But like, I'm gonna go check this out. I'm gonna go fly over to this volcano or this fiery temple and just kind of hang out here and check it out, and like not have to worry about whether you're gonna aggro a whole crap load of stuff. Something's wrong with my foot though. Managed to hurt it or something. It's like swollen across the top bridge of my foot. It hurts. It's been bothering me for like the past couple days. Today's progressively worse. Mailbox here. Mailbox! Really? Sends me trash item? Thanks. Whatever will I do without my 35 silver?
Dark rituals from Zulnazman has spread the corruption into the land, calling spirits back from the other side. Purify their remains and lay the others to rest.
Pot. Give me your pot. Let me have it. Give me your pot. It's gonna need to be confiscated and add their pot. Cracking in jar. Bad troll. This is what you look like. First you start off as a racked spirit, and you experiment with cracked vessels.
Has to end. This is but one step towards stopping the bloodshed.
10 item levels, pick up versatility, and lose mastery just to get that socket. No fucking way. That can't be right. Wish it popped 340 with a socket and save me the trouble of having to deal with that. And then like, yeah, okay, that's an upgrade. Losing out on strength by dropping that item level. Definitely
Them Natavor trolls be watering the local plants with sacrifices. Stop them before we be overrun by flesh-eating plants.
About to have to log off for a bit. I'm gonna have to go grab Skylar and probably than I was earlier today. I've completed a crap ton of world quests today. Yeah, same. I'm feeling the sleepies, but I want to get this world quest done, and then I'm probably gonna have to feed Skylar before I can go to sleep. This and drop some stuff off. she wakes up about at least every 5 hours to, roughly every 5 hours to eat. She plays here and there. She mostly sleeps though. She mostly sleeps at the moment. Tries to eat everything when she's not sleeping.
Well done, man. Them pings should have stayed under the dirt where they belong.
Do you want something?
That mount. Wait. Requires you to be level 40. I think to use it. Looks like to use it. But because it's an epic mount. All the food materials, gym materials, old mining and cloth, elementals. I've got 8. These are the sky shards I was telling you about. Need 10 of them to create a sky crystal to get them out. Wouldn't take too long probably to farm 2 more of them. Oh, getting these? Yeah, I could totally easily farm those. Just don't know the drop rate on them. All you gotta do is go to Vale of Eternal Blossoms, kill anything, and just about anything there has a chance to drop them. Just low drop rate chance.
May the Lord bring you fortune.
I really cleared some space there, though. Alright, Thebroski. I am dipping out of here, calling it a night. Gonna get Skylar fed and get some sleep probably. Get some more shit going on tomorrow. You too, man. Good night, brother.